Vincent Meza with Listings to Leads. And today we're going to be talking about Facebook advertising. So there's a couple of new things I want to discuss with you before we get into all that. And one of them has to do with Facebook. And but first I like to get started with kind of the resources for you. There's a lot in our platform. It'll help you grow your business. It'll help you generate leads. It'll help you if you have listings. If you don't have listings, it will still help. So I think probably one of the most important places to begin to learn about our platform is on our YouTube channel. Obviously, classes like this that are live, this is great because you can ask questions right here. But we record every class, including the one that we just started here. And we put all the recordings right here in this section. And there are a few classes that you definitely want to be watching. One is today's class, which is Facebook ads. The other is Get Started. So if you're a new client, you definitely want to check that out. And then I think the third one is the top tools to get more listings. If you want more listings in your business, you probably want to know the top tools that are there. And speaking of top ways to get more listings, I will point out that down here are a couple of classes that talk about the best way to get listings and from Facebook, and a new strategy to get high quality listing leads from Facebook. And down here on the bottom right. And I'm going to kind of go into it, but I don't always repeat everything, like a robot. So if you need to really understand this, which is actually pretty powerful, there might be more answers and questions in those two videos. So I'm going to point that out. So this is a great resource. If you're catching this as a recording, you can go to YouTube, look for Listings to Leads, go to our video page, and you will see every class that we do. The other really great resource is our mastermind group. And this is where Scott and I kind of announce new things that are coming down the pipe. One of those things is actually a new listing presentation. So as you're capturing listing leads and you're able to get appointment, you'll notice that you can download a listing presentation. And one of our clients took that, and I'm just going to show you here. It's in here. His name is Eric, and he's actually from Australia, and he put it on his website, right? So he took our PDF, and this is actually what we're looking at right here was created by us. So each of you have this plan in your account, right? You have a listing presentation that looks like this. Somehow Eric took this, made pictures of it, and just put it as a big long page on his website, which is cool. And, I don't know how he did that and how easy that was, but that's interesting. But it is a downloadable PDF. And so you can use it that way as well, which is how it was intended. But that's inside on the mastermind, or that's inside your account right now. If you go to listings, there's a button there that says create listing presentation. And that's how you get that. So that's something that's new. And there's another thing that's new that I want to mention. And that is a message went out last week to maybe all realtors or all realtors who use Facebook. And so I want to kind of point out what it was saying. And what it was saying is that Facebook is going to be making changes for agents, for realtors like you, who want to run ads on Facebook Marketplace. Okay. And I'm not quite sure. We don't actually run ads on Facebook Marketplace with our system. Okay. And so let's see if it's down here somewhere. Maybe the question's been taken out. But if you're seeing that message, because it's in your mail because Facebook sent it to you, what that has to do with is the marketplace in Facebook, which you may or may not know what that is, but you can run ads and this is the marketplace. It's kind of like an online garage sale. Okay. And what they're telling you as a realtor is you will not be able to run ads here. Okay. And that's the short answer. That's the short message. There are actually a handful of companies that you can run ads in marketplace for, but they're just saying you as a realtor are not going to be able to do that because it seems that there's some, I don't know, illegal ads or something like that going on. So that doesn't affect what we do. right? Well, we do have Facebook software in our platform. Let's log in and we'll start talking about that. But our ads, we don't use the marketplace at all. Okay. So when you sign up on our system, the first place we drop you is on this page, and it says account setup. And you'll notice that there are a couple of things here where it says connect social media, connect your ad account, right? And so this section is kind of good, but it's not perfect. And that's because we keep adding new things. So I'm just going to kind of talk to you a little bit about setup on social media. So when we say connect to social media here, this is for automatic posting, auto posting for your listings and for your, we have some landing pages that will auto post for you as well. And these posts will basically capture leads for you. So it's really smart to turn all this on. You'll notice that there's connect to YouTube, and a lot of agents in the country use Gmail as their email platform. What they don't realize is that if they click through that Gmail, they actually have a YouTube channel. Many agents have never bothered to open it up or turn it on, but you can brand it. You can put your logo or your photos and big pictures of your area as a banner. And I would definitely recommend doing that, because then you can connect your YouTube channel. And every time you have a listing, we will create a automated YouTube virtual tour. And there will be a link where you can actually capture leads from that. But over here on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, we definitely are posting landing pages, and we're auto posting listings, and we have landing pages behind it. So you can actually capture leads for free. Now, the next one says connect to your ad account, and you'll kind of connect as you, and then you can then it'll say, is this you? Is your personal name? And then the next question will be, what business page do you want? And that's how you connect the ad account. There's one other new thing here that is social content. And it says social over here. So I'll click on it. And this is another place where you connect your social information, right? And so what it is, the first thing it says is connect to social media. And again, you connect your favorite social media account. And then it's going to ask you, when do you want to publish? When do you want content to go out? I just choose to have it go out on Friday, but you can, I think our default is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Some people have it going out every day. And then the next, so it'll push out to the accounts that you connected to. But the next question it will be is, what topics do you want? And you can see that there are a number of topics here, right? What we're not creating here is like long, post about mortgage rates or prices moving. This is really more social content, and it can have more to do with what you're interested in. You might be interested in kitchens or interior spaces or garage. And me, like, I'm into gardening and hardscaping and outdoor living. So I like to use these ones. Now, if you want to click on the eyeball here underneath any of these topics, you'll see all the articles in that we've written. And you can hover over them, you click on them, you can read them and go on. I just recommend that you turn it on. You don't really need to worry about this one. There is not a lot of lead capture with this section, because it's really just getting content to your social media accounts so that it looks like you're paying attention to it. And it's a little more fun than just, this is what's happening, the market, because you can read that. People can read that all the time, but people are not really, they can tell interest rates are moving. They know things are happening in the market, and you'll probably want to share that. But, they also want to read sort of the nicer things about real estate, about homeownership, stuff like that. And that's what this is about. So over here on the ad section is where we actually, this is really the place where you run ads. Now here I am connected already to my accounts, but when you come here the first time, there will be a big button that says connect to Facebook, and another button starting next week will say connect to Google. Okay. And so we're not going to be talking about that until it's actually live. But when you connect to Facebook, there are 3 kinds of ads that you can run. And there's also this button over here that says create audience. This will not appear when you connect, but you see this little yellow box that says we're refreshing data. This is just a message saying we're connecting to Facebook and updating all the stats and stuff like that. There will be a yellow box though that says accept the custom audience terms. And I really recommend that each of you do that you go to this page after you connect your Facebook account and you connect that. You accept those custom audience terms. It'll actually take you to a page on Facebook, and it's got a lot of terms and conditions, right? It's kind of like, it's like Apple software. It's telling you, here are all the new things that are happening, and you don't read it. You just click yes. Same kind of page. But the accept button is right at the top, and then you refresh this page, and that yellow box will then say turn on retargeting. And that's an important part of Facebook advertising that many agents don't even know exists. So I'm going to go in detail today. So there are two sections that I'm going to go on detail, and that's the new strategy of how to create high quality listing leads from Facebook and also how to create custom audiences. Okay. But we'll start with the basics first. And that is just to create a listing ad. So if we click here, all of your listings that are in your account are available on this dropdown. So you can run ads for early stage homes like open houses or for sale, or you can run ads for homes that are pending or sold. I'm going to start with an open house here. And you always want to leave it on lead ads. Okay. And I'll tell you why in a minute, but if you use lead ads, you're going to get name, email, and phone numbers pre-populated by Facebook profiles. So if you like leads with phone numbers, that's the way to go. And for us, we like leads with phone numbers because we want our clients to convert the leads into business. You know what I mean? And so if you're operating with just an email, that's not quite as effective. It's a lot harder to convert. But if you got a phone number, it's really smart to text those people once or twice a week, let them know you're here to help them and offer any service. That on top of a drip campaign. So I'm going to just click create an ad, and we'll just see really quickly here what's going on. And we've pre-written the ad for you. Mine says sponsored by Listings Leads, but yours is going to be sponsored by your business page because that was the first step. The way that you create this ad is you click that green button that says publish. And that's as easy as it gets. And if you've ever run ads on Facebook, you might know that there's about 3 or 4 pages of things that you got to click through. And you got to click about 10 different boxes to have a successful ad on Facebook. Well, with ours, we have the software. So we know what you're trying to achieve when you're clicking the buttons, right? We can tell by where you're driving what your goal is. And so we're checking all the boxes that you needed to check so that you can have a successful ad. Okay. So to have a successful ad with this on Facebook, it's going to have, you just click the green button down there. It says publish. So let me speak a little bit more about this. And this right here, well, let me turn off. I have ad block on my page. So on my browser. And so when I do this, it's kind of different. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. This is the Facebook, what do you call it? News feed. The center column is the news feed. And always when you come here, there's going to be, the first post is going to be something that you follow, right? Like maybe it's your friends and what they're eating or their pets or their kids, or maybe it's whatever. You're maybe like me, I'm following this art page. But your second post is going to be an ad. Okay. And this is an ad about something. I don't know what this is for your curls, your hair. And you see here that there's a link here, a button down here that says shop now. So your ad that looks like this will be sponsored by your business page up here. Going to have this language, this kind of photo, and it's going to say learn more. Okay. But that's going to all appear right here. And it's going to appear for me with anybody that lives within 15 miles of Berkeley, right? We're always going to pull the city that this home is in, and the minimum radius is 15 miles. All right. So you can click over here And you can say, hey, you know what? I want to put something here that you're not catching, like grade schools, right? You can name the high school. That's often a big deal for many people that want to buy a home. So if that's the case, type it there, and that before you click publish, and that will sort of work for you. But on this one, if I click on shop now, it's probably going to take me to their website to go buy some hair stuff, right? But in ours, it's going to say learn more. And it will, when you click it, it's going to pop up a little chat panel over here. And instead of, the chat of like you talking with a friend, it's going to say, would you like more information? There's one answer. It's a yes. And for them to click yes, they have to give you their name, email, and phone number that is already appearing there. It's already pre-populated from the Facebook profile. And that's what makes running these ads really, really effective, because we've been doing this for 13 years. If you try to capture somebody's contact information where you're asking them to type it in, it's a lot harder. If you're asking people for their phone number and you ask them to type it in and you even require it on a form, let me give you an example of what that might be. You can pretty much forget capturing leads, right? If you're going to require that a consumer, let me just show you how a landing page works. If you're going to require that a consumer, like in this case, what's your home worth? First question is address. A lot of people will put their address in because they want to know, right? I want to know what my home was worth. So there are lots of ways to get people to that page. They say, okay, it's ready, but we need your email address, right? Now, a lot of people will leave this page, right? But you can actually also require a phone number. You can say, I want, for me to give you that home value, I need your phone number as well. And it's required. When you do that, you pretty much shoot off about 90 to 99% of your leads. Nobody wants to give you their phone number online, especially depending on how you got this there. If they don't know who you are, it's just wishful thinking that that's going to work for you. However, if you run an ad like this over here and you do it on the Facebook page, well, their phone number, name, and email is already populated by their profile. And oddly enough, they're more than happy to give you that information. It just takes away a lot of the fear somehow. And they can see it. They can see that they're going to give that to you. It's not like we're getting it off the bat. They know that they submitted their contact info. That being said, I will speak to this. That being said, even though they have given you their phone number, it doesn't mean they know who you are, and it doesn't mean that they're ready to talk to you. And I know there's a concept out there that's been trained from probably longer than the internet, but it's speed the lead, right? Which is, hey, if I get a lead, I got to call them, right? And I got to call them in 5 seconds or 5 minutes or whatever that number is. And I don't know about you guys, but I kind of live on the phone. And if I get phone calls from numbers that I don't know, I don't answer it, and so funny. Like, I think last week or this week, I actually answered a call. He's like, okay, I don't know what this is, but I don't know who it is. So I answer. And sure enough, it's some kind of random, sales solar energy call. And I'm like, oh my God, that's why I don't answer the calls, right? So same thing, you're going through that when you're calling these people. And what I'm trying to get at is I actually don't recommend that you call these leads. I recommend that you text them once or twice a week. Let them know that they had questions. Let them know that you're busy helping other clients, but you want to make sure that they are taken care of. If you have that kind of concept going on with a drip campaign, you're more likely to convert leads. Okay, so we run one ad, right? We ran an ad on an open house. Let's go back to ads and let's run an ad on something that's sold, right? So if you flip the property from active or open house to sold, you'll be able to do exactly what I'm doing here. And so let's go create an ad. And now it says this home is sold, and that affects your home value. Click here to get your free home value. Okay. And that works really, really well. Okay. And that's, you might want to, go in here and customize it and say, hey, that's sold. And we got, we got 3 offers and we sold, 5K above asking or something like that. Like if we had been talking 6 months ago, people would tell you we got 10 offers and we sold it 30 to 60K above asking. And I know that the market's shifting and that might not be the case for you right now, but these are the kinds of things that get people to click right on these ads. And so you run this, it's going to show up on your on the Facebook news feed to your targeted area, and you will be getting name, email, and phone number. They are not getting an instant home value. All right. So we want to be really clear about that. In this case, we're capturing their contact information and you need to get them an instant home value. What I would recommend is you go open up that landing page that's in your account already. And once you get their contact information, just say, hey, can I get your address so I can get you that home value? And then you drop it in the landing page, you put their address and then you click through and then you put in their email address. And now they're going to get the automated email with their home value. And of course, you've already got their contact information because you captured it from the lead, right? From this Facebook app. So that's how you can use later stage tools or listings to capture listing leads. Now, there are also other tools to run ads with on Facebook that'll help you get both buyers and listings. And that's the PDF guide ads. Okay. And so when we click here, you'll notice that there are over 70 PDF guides, some for buyers and some for sellers. So if you don't have a listing and you just want to go out and capture leads, choose any of these, right? And if you click on the white button up here, you'll be able to download this report and you'll be able to notice that you are branded on every page of every report. Okay. So I'm going to actually click the green button that says 5 dangers of overpricing. And some of our clients actually download these reports and they put them in envelopes and they leave them behind after they captured a lead, right? So let's imagine that you're running ads and you're capturing leads for sellers. Let's just focus on sellers. And you got a drip campaign going, right? So you were connected to your CRM. You got a drip campaign for homeowners and you're texting them twice a week, right? And you're letting them know that you're here to help them. And then you are then taking this and you're printing it up and you're putting it in an envelope and it's branded to you and you're just knocking and leaving it at their door, right? Something that they may need. You're branded on every page. At some point, these people are going to know like, hey, that person's been texting me, drop this off. I should have a conversation. This again gets into conversion, right? And I know a lot of our clients are excited about capturing leads, but honestly, you don't earn anything until you convert a lead. I'm kind of giving you the tips right here. So in order to run this, you just click publish. For them to download it, they have to give you their name, email, and phone number, and they can download it right there. So you're not even having to do anything after the fact. You're just capturing information and you're delivering that report for free. All right. And I showed you kind of the listing side. You could also run a PDF guide ad for home buyers, right? And again, you are on every page. Now, you'll notice that there's on both, you can upload a custom PDF, right? And so if you've got a PDF that you've created or your office has created and you want to get an ad out but you want to get contact information, well, that's what you do right there, right? You use that section. But you can, like I said, you can read all of these things by just downloading it here. You can click create an ad and in this case, because we're not tied to a city, you would type in the name of the city. You could even expand the radius if you want. Okay. And that's how it works, right? So let's go back to ads and let's look at the third kind of ad that we could run. And that is a landing page ad. All right. So we click on Facebook up here and click on landing page, and you actually get 3 landing pages by default as soon as you sign up: a free home value page, down payer assistance page, and new construction. I'm going to click on the home value one. and just create this so we can kind of talk about this. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen an ad like this, because I actually don't know how long you've even been in real estate, right? But this kind of ad has been very popular for nearly 10 years. This kind of landing page is very popular. I just showed you one earlier where I got my home values by, capturing phone numbers. But what I want to explain to you is what I want you to understand, that this kind of ad almost doesn't work at all on Facebook. For most people, it does not work. And it might work if you're in an area where it's not very competitive, right? And I got to think, like in the US, it's competitive just about everywhere. But there are some places where there's like intense competition, and there are places where it's just not intense because people don't advertise as much, right? They're all word of mouth or whatever. So this kind of generic ad could work for you. But if you've got a good solid brand, like you notice my brand is, listings to leads. If you run a lot of ads and people know who you are, well, this kind of ad could work for you. But if not, it might not work very well. So to make it work, you really want to be more tighter on a particular area. Because if you're like, hey, what is your home worth? Then you're not mentioning a specific area. I'm not even going to pay attention. Right. And so let's back up and let's talk about creating an ad for a landing page for home values for a particular area. And that might be a landing page ad for, I have Property Valuation Plus. I'm going to do this one here, Pleasant Hill. Now, Pleasant Hill, you may not know it. It's a neighborhood right next to me. It's like 5 minutes away. And it's a good kind of, bedroom community, good schools, like 30,000 people there. This is a picture of the mall. Okay. And this is a new mall. And obviously there's a theater and lots of good restaurants. And so if you know this mall, you know Pleasant Hill, right? And so I could go in here and type in Pleasant Hill, California. All right. And run the ad. And I would get name, email, and phone. But I want to explain to you why this kind of ad might not work for you. This can work for some people. And it depends on where you are and what your population is like, honestly. This, I don't know if you can see it. It's right here in the center. This is Pleasant Hill. Okay. It's about 5 miles from north to south and about 3 miles from east to west. And there's a lot of people that live there. But when we're running the ad, we can't get any tighter than 15 miles. Okay. So what does that mean? Well, that means that everybody in every one of these cities that you can see on this map all the way around are going to see my ad. And so that doesn't make it very effective. But, some of those people who see it, they might click on it. They might be curious. And if they give you the information, they are not necessarily in your area. So these leads can become really kind of wobbly, right? Not really great. I am going to get into the deeper part in just a couple minutes of how to make this work, but there's a few more hoops to jump. So we're not going to tackle that right now, but you definitely want to, if you're in an area like, let's go here, like Boise, Idaho. Right? If I ran that in Boise and just go here, well, that's Boise there. And there, again, this is another 15-mile radius here. There are some other people that are going to see it, but you can kind of imagine if I was running this ad over here in Idaho City, that might work a little bit better, right? Because it's not surrounded by a bunch of people. And that's kind of the nature of Facebook ads, and why when you're trying to get home values, the default way that Facebook works doesn't work well for you. But I want to say one more thing about creating landing page ads. And the first thing that we should know is if you go to the landing page section, you can create ads. You can create landing pages for all of your regions. I mentioned that we give you 3 by default. But you can actually say, you know what? I want to create one for every neighborhood or town that I build business in, right? And you definitely should. But the challenge is that with Facebook, you won't necessarily be able to target the way you want to target. Okay. So we're going to get into how to target. And this is a little more complicated. It's not necessarily inside Facebook or it's not inside of our platform, but I'm going to walk you through it anyway. But what we've talked about so far is how to run ads for your listings and how to run ads for PDF guides and how to run landing page ads. Okay. Do you have questions about what I've covered? We talked about 30 minutes. Do you have questions right now for everything that we just covered? And I'm going to wait. You can put it in the GoToMeeting chat panel. I'm going to I want to give you another important data point about Facebook ads. And this has to do with getting listings. Okay. Listing leads. All three of these, listing ads, landing page ads, and PDF guide ads, can capture listing leads, right? Homeowners. If I run a sold ad on a property that I've sold, or maybe I even help the buyer so I know it's sold, those leads have a price. When we run the ad, it's $50 for a week, but there is a cost per lead. Okay. Now it's not on top of that, but it's called pay-per-click advertising. So if you get a lead from this ad, on average, each lead costs about $6.50. Okay. So that means if I got a $50 ad, I'm probably going to get like 8 or 9 leads. Okay. And every time somebody clicks on my ad and gives me their contact information, Facebook chews off $6 off of my 50. Right. So at some point you're going to run out of that $50. And for some clients they run out after 2 or 3 days. Right. So you want to kind of know like, okay, my cost per lead for running a sold ad could be around $6 to $7. Right. And then if I say, well, let's run an ad on a property that is not sold, but under contract. So if we've got properties that are sold or under contract, in contract, pending, active, contingent, anything later stage, Facebook doesn't quite know how to price this. And this is kind of weird. And this is a little bit techie, but I don't know if you've noticed that when you run an ad, especially if you run an ad on your own inside the Facebook platform, and you say, okay, I'm going to click all these 15 buttons and make an ad. When you click publish, it's going to say, great, we're going to review it and then we will make it live. And I don't know if you've ever noticed, I've had clients where they've had to wait hours, 12 hours, even 24 hours for Facebook to approve the ad. I've often heard from our clients that these are approved in minutes, like 1 minute, 2 minutes. And it might be because when I actually think there's a real person that scans these things. It could be a computer that's scanning, but there are, even when you're running an ad through ours, there is a hold time for sometimes it's a minute, maybe 2, but somehow they make a decision on what your cost per lead is going to be. And I told you that when you're running a sold ad, it's about $6.50, right? But when you're running an ad that's pending or under contract, they don't know how to price that. And so we actually have had clients getting sold leads for in contract for $2.38. Same $50 is just getting you more leads because you're running the ad in contract or pending. Now, I know for some of you, your MLSs don't allow you to do that. So obviously you have to take those local rules into account. But basically, that's the cheapest kind of listing lead you're going to get from Facebook. Then I showed you that you could run ads with PDF guides on Facebook, right? And I told you that, yeah, and all you got to do is type in the town and they can download it. These leads often cost $10 a lead. Okay. So divide that into $50, you're probably only going to get 10 leads. Okay. Maybe more, maybe less. The cost of a lead is actually different across the country. If you were in Boise, Idaho, and you ran this ad, your lead could cost $9. If you ran this ad in Manhattan, New York, this same lead could cost you $20. They literally, Facebook changes those prices all over the country. It's not flat across the country. Okay. So what happens when you run one of your landing page ads? Like I was showing you earlier, like on Pleasant Hill, we'll do Release Valley. So this is a home value. What is your home worth? Now, I don't know how they figure it out, but this kind of ad, these are the most expensive leads for homeowners when you're saying, hey, get your home value unit like that. This is often $12 to $15 a lead. So the same $50 over 7 days probably only get you 3 or 4 leads. Okay. Now, in terms of branding, I think it's smart to run these ads if you do it correctly, but the amount of leads is going to be decreased, right? So you do want to think about building your brand. You do want to build trust in your community, and running ads on Facebook is a good way to do that. Adults are still there and people are still getting a lot of leads. So I haven't seen any questions. So it seems like you guys are understanding what I'm saying. So I'm going to dive into something that I was mentioning earlier about how running listing ads with landing pages, it doesn't work very well. And I'm going to explain to you why. Okay. I've explained to you why, but I'm going to explain to you now the workaround to make this work. So let's go back to my Pleasant Hill. And you remember I was talking about Pleasant Hill and I said, it's like a small town, but it's in the middle of a bunch of other towns. So running the ad, let's see here, you can't target. That's the problem. If you've been in real estate for longer than 5 years and you were running ads on Facebook, you might know that you used to be able to target homeowners in a particular town or in a zip code. And you could even target if they owned a home, right? That made Facebook incredibly powerful, but now you can't. You can barely target. You can't even, I'm sorry, I don't know why this is zooming in and out like that. You can't even target 15 miles. You can't get tired. So now that little area I'm trying to get over here where the little Christmas trees are, I can't even target with Facebook. They've had election tampering and they've had illegal ads run by realtors. So they've had their hands slapped by Congress. So you can't actually target with the Facebook platform. So let's talk about the workaround. Okay. There are other companies in the real estate space that will sell you lists of targeted people. Okay. You could, for instance, go to Remine or maybe HomeSnap. And there are other companies that you could say, hey, I want a list of homeowners in Pleasant Hill. Now, they could say, we grade them and these are higher likely to sell or medium to sell, whatever. I just think get a list of homeowners. I don't know how much value I put on what their grading concept is, right? I just don't know what it is. But if I had a list of homeowners, I could then go over, and let's say it for Pleasant Hill, I could then go over to ads. And I don't know if you remember, I said earlier, let's wait for us to get there. You can create an audience. The first thing I said was you want to turn on custom audiences and you want to turn on retargeting. So once you do that, you click on create an audience and you can upload a spreadsheet as long as it looks like this: email, number, first name, last name. So if you're buying that list from, another company, you can upload it right here and then import and create. Now you would want to name it, right? You would want to name it Pleasant Hill Homeowners, right? Or whatever you want to name. Oh man, my keyboard is dying here. Okay, I might need a new keyboard. I just cleaned it yesterday, so of course now it's dead. And when you import it here with a green button and create it, it's actually going to live inside of your personal Facebook account, okay, in your ad manager. So you can, even if you stop working with listings to leads, it's still going to be there for you. And you can retarget inside, and you can target these people inside a Facebook, even without us. But let me show you how you do it here. And let's go back to that landing page, and let's go back to the Pleasant Hill one. And we're going to go same thing, lead ads. We want the name, email, and phone number. Now, down here, it says retarget current leads. Now, I don't actually have a list called Pleasant Hill Builder, but I do have one that's my L2L buyer and seller. So it's kind of like this. If I had one named Pleasant Hill, if I typed in Pleasant, it would pop up. And I can then, what this does is it targets the people in that list. So does that make sense? You're buying a list. Most of you are probably building your business in, let's just say, 4 to 5 different cities. You should get that list of homeowners of each of those cities, and you should create separate lists. Okay. So that you can target in this way that we're doing. That way, if you've got a core area, like for some people, 50 or 80% of their business comes from one town, you should really be targeting ads like this, even if it's not for home values. I see a question coming in here. Let's answer that. What if the list does not have email address? It may or may not work. Does it have a phone number? If you get a name and phone number, it's usually like what they want is name, email, and phone number, no phone. So you just have an address and a name. I don't think that's going to be able to work. I think if you have a name, address, and phone number or email address, Facebook can figure it out. They'll figure it out. But I think you're going to need one of those two. Yeah. So like I said, you can buy those from companies like Remind and HomeStep and a few others. And then you'll really kind of want to have a list of like that for every farm market, every town you're trying to build a business. Okay. And then one other thing that we can say, what I should say is when you're creating an audience, and it tells you that, but just in case you didn't see it, when you're creating an audience, it has to be a minimum of 1,000 leads. This is a rule set by Facebook. Okay. So if you're in an area or a neighborhood with 200 people, that's going to be too small. And even though you create the audience, it won't show up as a list you can target. All right. This is very effective. What I'm describing is very effective because you've already got a list of homeowners and they're the only people seeing the ad that you're creating. Right. So it's definitely an effective way to make Facebook work for you. Now, a couple of other things that I'll say about this is if you've been in the business for a while in real estate and you've been collecting leads for a while, you might have 1,000+ leads sitting around in your CRM. You might have bought a list from Zillow because you were paying them for leads, or Realtor.com, or wherever the heck you've got leads just sitting somewhere. I would definitely recommend that you create a custom audience, assuming it's over 1,000 leads long, right? Because whenever you're running the ad, if you want, you can run the ad to retarget so that you're staying in front of those people. And that really gets back into conversion. I know for realtors, there's a lot of people that think, hey, if I run an ad and I capture a lead, if they don't respond to me in 24 hours, it was a crap lead. And that's like, fairy tale land. That is not reality. That's not reality of converting an online lead. The reality is you need to be in touch with them. You need to at minimum have a drip campaign. Additionally, add on, some text them every once in a while. Well, as I mentioned earlier, drop off some things at their home if you've got their address, but also just running ads in front. If you capture them on Facebook, you kind of know they're on Facebook, and you can create an ad with your old leads from your old CRM and put it here. One thing that's definitely worth noting is you see your leads tab over here. When you turn on create a custom audience, that tells us at Listings to Leads to create an audience automatically in your Facebook account. And any lead that you capture in our platform, we drop it in there. Now, it won't be available for you to target until it's like 1,000 leads long, but we do have clients that generate hundreds of leads every month. So if you're one of those that list can be available to you really quickly. Um, so that's what custom audience is about. And that's what retargeting is about. And if you want more listings out of Facebook, which frankly is a cheap place to get listings. And also, like, I've run a few ads here. I think it might be apparent to you that running ads in Facebook is really easy. I mentioned earlier our YouTube class or our YouTube channel, and you will notice that every time I do the class about the top tools to get listings, our top tool is actually a print letter. Okay. Now we've made it easier to get the print letter out, but you know, it's more expensive. It takes more time. And if you're doing it by hand, it's a whole heck of a lot more work. So if you want to run an ad and you go get that list I'm talking about, that's going to make this probably the most effective way of getting listings, and definitely cheap, right? Cheap and fast. So that's the whole thing about custom audiences or retarget. There is, and actually that was the two things I wanted to talk about, is how to create a custom audience. Now, and I'm going to repeat, when you accept over here, accept the custom audience terms, that's automatically going to create a custom audience for you. And I'm just going to go over here to the PDF guide ad again, and I'm going to click this one, how to avoid foreclosure. And I know that pre-foreclosures are happening now. So this might be something that you want to get in the market. Well, if I click this button, retargeting, I've been using retargeting for a while. So my L2L audience is pretty big. So you're going to have an L2L audience of buyers and sellers. I just use the combined one. And this ad that you see over here on the right will go to the people in my list. So this is a great way to stay in front of the leads you're capturing with us. So any questions about what we've talked about? I'm going to go over here to leads. I'm kind of curious about here. Lead legend. I don't see any questions. I'm going to show you one more new thing. And follow-ups. That's kind of what I'm curious. Follow-ups. Create campaign. Okay. Contact list. Create folder. Okay. Over here in the social, remember at the beginning of the call, I said that there's this social content and it doesn't capture a lot of leads, but it's got colorful content that goes out to your social media. Cool. Right. One thing I didn't mention when I was over here is that there's a red button that says new, and there is links in bio. Now, this doesn't have to do with Facebook, but this has to do with Instagram. Okay. And let me see what happens if I click view. Never really click this. Yeah. So this makes a link for your Instagram profile, and it will have articles and PDFs. It'll have your listings here, the things here. It is even as a home value add, right? And you can put your bio here, and these are the PDFs. You can choose which PDFs are going to be available. And you can say, I want to show my listing. And basically this you can embed on your Instagram profile. Instagram is not terrific at capturing leads, but you can now embed this in. And I think you kind of recognize, or hopefully you do, that all of this is going to be, designed to capture leads for you, right? As you click through here. And so if I click in here, it's going to take me to the single property website for my properties. Since this one is in contract, the call to action is get your free home value. So that's now all available for you to use. It's on the social page. It's under settings. That's a red thing that says new. I definitely recommend that if you're using Instagram at all, because when you're posting things on Instagram, you can tell people, see the link in my bio, and this is all lead capture for you. Okay. I think actually you could put Calendly in here, right? Which that's not bad. I should do that. Okay, everybody, that's my story today. that's how you can use Facebook. I do want to recommend that you keep an eye in the mastermind group and probably in the mastermind group, because we're going to announce real quickly here that Google is active. Okay. So that's it. This call is recorded. It's going to be on our YouTube channel over here later today or tomorrow. So thanks for joining me. If you have any more questions, let me know. Otherwise, have a great day, and we'll see you in the mastermind group. Okay. Bye, everybody.